Welcome to MuleTown Speed. I'm Brian, and you're watching an engine showcase video. This engine is for sale, and we make a video like this for every engine that we sell so that you can get an in-depth look at your engine and watch it run before you buy it. Although we don't rebuild or remanufacture engines, our process of cleaning, inspecting, testing, and fixing if necessary gives you the confidence that your used engine is going to run great in your project. It'll also protect you from spending big bucks on a crate motor or risking your time and treasure on a junkyard mystery motor.
Today's engine is 348004. It is a LR4 RPO code, which means it's a 4.8 liter Gen 3 LS engine. This is got 160,000 miles on it. It's out of a Silverado. It's got the standard injectors. It's got a blue-green PCM, which means it's sort of like the standard, engine PCM for programming purposes. 706 heads, iron block, sort of like run-of-the-mill 4.8. And it runs absolutely fantastic. It's a Gen 3, which means there's no VVT, there's no active fuel management, none of the weird emissions equipment that is found on Gen 4 engines. And this one has a bunch of new parts that we'll get into in just a second. It's being sold as a level 3 package from MuleTown Speed, which means it comes with a PCM programmed to your specifications. It comes with a wiring harness, oxygen sensors, to get you going, all the accessories except for the AC compressor and a lot of other really good parts that are tested in the video coming up, so that you have the confidence that this engine is going to work great in your swap project. It runs great. Makes fantastic oil pressure. The alternator works. All the sensors work. There's no leaks, no weird noises. It literally runs like a sewing machine, and it would be, like, in my opinion, great for someone that wants something that is like going to be a daily driver or a just a fun all around 300 horsepower easy hot rod project, just something fun, nothing crazy. Of course, that you can always step it up from there. You can always add the cam, add exhaust, add the intake, add boost, that type of thing. Because this is a 2005, that means it comes with the upgraded beefy connecting rods. Gen 3s generally have a really thin connecting rod, and that's really the first thing to go as you increase horsepower. But it's 05, so that means that it got the thicker rods in this engine, which is a definite plus, in addition to the fact that it's a Gen 3 running on Gen 3 electronics, which are simpler, easy to tune, easy to install, and kind of use in a swap application. In addition to that, this also got a new oil pump and a new timing chain, head gaskets, of course, because we're in there anyway, LS7 lifters, the timing cover gasket got replaced, the crank seal got replaced, and then water pump gaskets, right? So in addition to that, exhaust manifold gaskets were replaced. Spark plugs, O2 sensors are the Denso units, which are just the front O2 sensors. The rears have been deleted, but the fronts are required to tune this engine to allow it to do what it needs to do to trim fuel. Those are brand new Denso units. A brand new serpentine belt is on there as well. We cleaned and tested the injectors on this, which means like we take the injectors off, we put it in an injector cleaner. It's an ultrasonic cleaner. It goes through and it gets all the grease and the grime and the grunge out of it. And then we pressure test them to make sure they're all within 5% of each other before we put it back in the engine and test it. If you're interested in this engine or need to know what comes with a level 3 package, please visit MuleTownSpeed.com. That will send you to a page where it actually runs through what comes with a level 1, level 2, level 3 package. Otherwise, let's wrap this up and get going with the test here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is 348004. This is our 4.8 liter LR4. I would take a 4.8 over a 5.3, especially something that runs as good as this one does, any day of the week. And you're going to be able to get them cheaper, this one included, versus a 5.3, just because the demand isn't there. But it's going to come with everything that a 5.3 would come with from us as far as like a level 3 package. You're going to get that PCM, this wiring harness, brand new O2 sensors, brand new starter, all the accessories except for the AC compressor, obviously, intake, all this kind of stuff. And this one is a drive-by-wire unit because it's a 2005, I think. But that means that it comes with a pedal, and it comes with the harness to connect the pedal to the rest of the engine. And this is called a TAC module, which is basically a very small computer that allows the pedal to talk to the throttle body and make all that work. But it's all included, and you're getting this one. You're getting that pedal, so you're not going to get this core engine with some other stuff on it that you're not sure is going to work. Because it's an 05, it's a returnless style fuel system, which means that you have one fuel inlet here, and then that needs to be regulated. And you can do that with a bunch of different regulators, fuel pressure regulators. This one is by far the cheapest, most common. This is a Corvette, C5 Corvette fuel filter and pressure regulator. So the pressure regulator is built into this unit. You've got a supply and a return right there, and then it just snaps onto your fuel rail. I do it this way because it's super easy to test right here. But when I do it in a vehicle, I put this back by the fuel tank, so that the return is super short, and then I just have one high pressure fuel line, high pressure being 58 psi, up to the fuel rail. It makes things cleaner and actually cheaper to run that way versus having to run a high pressure line up for supply and then a return line down back from like a return style fuel system, which have a pressure regulator built into it. Let's see. So this is coming with a fuse block, PCM, all the goodies that we can get you to get this going. And I'm going to shut up. You should just tell me, hey, shut up, Brian. Let's test this thing. So it's cold out. Inlet air temperature is still showing 70, and coolant temp is still 84. We were running this earlier today. It's probably mid 40s out right now. So when it fires up, you will see that condensation coming out of the exhaust for a little bit, but then it'll clear up, just like it would be in a vehicle, firing up when it's cold. But yeah, that's where we're at, and we'll run it up to 180, 200 degrees, somewhere in there, and let you hear it. We're gonna hit our fuel pump and hit our starter. Here we go. Try that again. There we go. You can see oil pressure about 50, 45, 50. Super high oil pressure, which is great. Brand new oil pump in there. Not surprised it's that high. And as this thing warms up, you'll hear it kind of start tuning itself a little bit. But it is just super quiet, super awesome. Even for a cold start, like, it's fantastic. Like, no smoke. Nothing down here dripping. We'll check it again later, but it's all super dry down here. I'm not going to sell you something that's leaking. But I mean, like a sewing machine, just butter smooth. Starting to warm up a little bit. So these level 3 packages come with a water pump, alternator, power steering. You've got the main drive belt here with all the tensioners and stuff that you need, just as you see it here. The only thing that it doesn't have is going to be the AC compressor, which normally mounts right here. that AC compressor generally has to be relocated for most applications anyway. I can provide you the bracket to install that if you want to, but you just got to let me know. But most times a relocation bracket's required if you want to run an AC on these, just because it hits the frame rail on a lot of applications, just in my experience. But it does come with like the factory exhaust manifolds. It's got a flex plate for like a 4L60. Brand new O2 sensors in there that are working away. I don't know if we're up to 126, so we're probably not to closed loop yet. Nope, we're still warming up. But I mean, we've got really good maps, so we're pulling a good amount of vacuum, and we're still mid 40s on the oil pressure, which is fantastic. So you can see we have an air inlet temp sensor, and that's plugged into the manifold at this point. That's generally in a stock application. That's in the mass airflow sensor, which would come somewhere in the ductwork, coming off of the intake here, going to the air box. There would be a mass airflow sensor, and that has it measures the amount of air that's going into the engine, but it also has a temperature sensor in it. Because that's not needed, and because it adds complication to a swap project, we run what's called a speed density tune, which just uses basically the engine computer to determine the load on the engine. There's a bunch of other sensors here that help determine that. It's sort of a redundant system, so we're running one of those, and that way we can eliminate the math entirely and be able to run a much simpler setup, which is what we're doing here. All right, so we're at 142, which is enough for closed loop, and you can see CL right there. That means closed loop operation. That means it's using oxygen sensors to provide feedback to the PCM on how the engine's doing as far as fueling goes. You can see there's one there, and there's one over there. Those are included, and basically that will allow the engine to sort of self-tune to a degree. There are limits to that, but for the most part, as for like a factory setup, it's gonna tune it in just perfect for what you need. And this thing, it's quiet, it's smooth, like, again, no smoke. It sounds great. Again, it's got the brand new LS7 lifters in it. It's got brand new head gaskets. It's got a brand new oil pump. Brand new water pump gaskets. Excuse me. I just put this one's got a brand new oil pressure sensor on the back. So that's brand new. See down here. Everything's nice and dry. You can see that. Nothing dripping. Even the power steering pump's nice and dry, quiet. It's at 162 degrees now. And even so, we're still at, we're above 40 on the oil pressure. Generally, these engines with miles on them like this will show, 35-ish or so PSI oil pressure. So the fact that there's 43, it's pretty good. You see there's a new starter. What else can I show you here? So I've got the idle set to about 750. This is a low maintenance deal here. I don't even know what else to tell you to try and like make this seem good. It just kind of does it on its own. No misfiring, no weird sounds. Just works. You can see all the plugs here for a 4L60. The rear O2 sensors have been deleted, as well as any of the EGR, the evap system, secondary air injection. None of that stuff is present. This is all set up for a swap. You've got two easy connections here for your heater box. You've got an easy inlet and outlet for your radiator. You can run a mechanical fan, you can run electric fans. Up to two different electric fans can be driven by the PCM. Sorry about that. It's 190 degrees now. Still at 43 psi on the oil pressure. Oh, alternator. See, 13.5 volts. So our alternator's working good. I don't know what else to even tell you about this. It just runs great. If you don't buy it, I'm going to use it for something. Brand new belt on there. We've got flex plate kits for pretty much every common GM automatic transmission. So if you want to adapt it to a 700, R4, Turbo 350, Turbo 400, 4L80, whatever, let us know, because we have those kits in stock now, as well as like manual transmissions. If you're running a Muncie 4-speed, NV 4500, you know, any of the common 4, 5, or even 6-speed like T56 transmissions, let me know, because we have flywheel and clutch kits in stock now too. We can hook you up with that if you want. If not, you can just take it as is. Let her buck. I think we'll probably call it. So we're at almost 200 degrees. So a factory thermostat on these is going to open between 195 and 200. So we're probably there, where it's finally circulating the coolant. Still at 42 psi on our oil pressure. Pulling good vacuum. 30 kPa on the map is very standard for like a stock cam factory engine. O2 sensors are doing what they're supposed to, switching from 0 to 1, 0 to 1. I don't want this to run any longer than it has to, even though I probably have. So let's go ahead and shut this down. So we'll call it there. We'll stop our log. We'll get this pulled off the engine stand, get it ready to go to a new home.
So I hope you liked what you saw there in the run video. If you're interested in this motor, our contact info is all on the right side of the screen here. Let us know the stock number of the engine that you're referring to when you call us, email us, whatever. That way we're all on the same page. We are located in Columbia, Tennessee, and that is about an hour south of Nashville, about an hour north of Huntsville. So for shipping, we can ship all over the country to a dock of your choice for a fee, and we can also deliver the engine to you for a fee, just on our shop truck here, and get you taken care of that way. Or you can come pick it up here in Middle Tennessee. It's all up to you what you want to do. And all of this info, as well as other engines that we have available, and our new PCM programming services, is on our website, MuleTownSpeed.com. That's kind of our hub. So if you have questions, go there and hit us up and let us know if you want this one. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you.